I am an online reseller as well as a self-proclaimed treasure hunter, but my real passion is in finding a great story. So make sure you subscribe because each week I'm bringing you my coolest finds and telling you their amazing stories. My brother and I decided to go to an antique shop this week, which it's one of my all-time favorite things to do. And the number one rule that we always follow is we only buy things that we can sell for more money. I'm gonna show you guys some of the stuff that we got. I'm gonna tell you what we paid for it. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna sell it for. Oh, hi. Yeah. No. I've got a really great old phone. So this thing is pretty amazing and it just looks like a regular old phone, but what's cool about this is this was actually a phone that was used in like the lobby of an old hotel. This is from the early 1900s when times were much more simple. All you did was hit one button and you'd end up calling exactly where you needed to call. The side has like these three little buttons. One says door latch, one says manager, one says janitor. So you just like would hit a button and it would call whoever you needed to call. Now it's really important when you find old phones or really anything that would have like a cool shell exterior to make sure that it hasn't been gutted. So I actually made one of the employees open it up so that we could look inside and make sure that it had all of the original components to it, because that's really going to affect the value. We paid $170 for this, which may seem like a lot, but these actually go for quite a bit of money if you can find them in all original condition like this. If you guys want to be super duper extra at your next tea party, you can buy a swan teapot. We're talking like leaves and like flowers and like branches, and then there's swan feathers, and there's a swan head, and then there's a spout, and then there's a handle, and then there's a lid. There's so much happening on this teapot that it makes it really difficult to even know what is going on in the world. I need a spot of tea delivered in a giant teapot with a lot of branches and feathers everywhere. It must be over the top, it must be amazing, and it must be shaped like a swan. This is a little bit over the top, like let's be real. This is from a company called Franz. Now, Franz makes like a lot of porcelain teapots and teacups and just different things that are all kind of a little bit over the top, but they're also really expensive. So this little guy was only $30 and they go for quite a bit of money, maybe because there's a lot of work that goes into it. Just pour you a spot of tea. Like it just doesn't seem like it would be that practical. So the other cool thing that I found was this Salish basket. And Salish basket, it's a form of Native American basket. So this would have been from like the Northwest coast, Washington, Canada area. This would have been called a cradle basket. So these would have come in different sizes. This would have been used to put like a baby in. A baby in a basket. This is kind of small, so part of me thinks this was probably like for a doll, which was really common. There's a lot of Native American art that is used for dolls. And so this is really cool. I paid $80 for this. These Salish baskets can go for a good amount of money, and this one's in really good condition. It only has like a little bit of wear here. Next up, you guys, the Civil War was no joke. So it's crazy to me that you can just like walk into an antique store and find something from the Civil War. This is a Civil War officer's sword. It's got like an all brass handle. It's kind of covered in like a thin coat of rust, which could potentially be dangerous. Now the values for these really kind of range all over the place. If you kind of like look here between this like little layer of rust, there's some wording here down at the bottom near the handle. And it has a maker's mark, and this is an Ames sword, A-M-E-S, and that particular maker is much more desirable than some of the others that were made during this era. Now, I paid $120 for this. This particular one can go for a lot more money. So I got really lucky. I found this amazing sword. Sometimes I just inhaled like rust dust. I think I just breathed in rust dust. Is that dangerous? Rust dust. I'm gonna show you guys something super random that my brother found that he just absolutely had to have. But it's huge. It's massive. This thing was used to literally steer a ship. A ship! Now, I'm not saying go out and buy every ship wheel that you find because there's a lot of reproductions made. However, the ones that are gonna be valuable have a maker's mark or a manufacturer name. This particular one here, if you look, it says John Hasty & Co. right on the front, and that's a really famous company that made ship wheels for actual ships. It's super collectible because it has that name. So Tyler paid $200 on this. There's quite a bit of room for something like this, and this is pretty cool. Like, this thing steered a giant ship at one point in time in history. So that's cool. So these were some of the things that we found at this antique shop. They're all pretty amazing. Each one is sort of like a tiny little piece of history that probably has some amazing story that we're never actually gonna know, but it's still very cool to kind of think about. So I wanna know, what's the oldest thing that you've ever found with like some crazy history to it? Leave your comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.